Hi students, this is for students in all my classes, 6th grade through high school. I think it's time that we do some house cleaning and try to make submitting our work, our daily work easier and more consistent. So this video is basically to communicate what I feel is important in my classroom and so that we can all be on the same page. So daily work. We need to insert a picture of your work at the end of each class. You need to prove what you're doing, and we're going to use only Google Slides. Why is it important to put a picture of your daily work in the assignment slides? So one reason, the main reason, it's proof that you're doing your assignments. If you do not put your daily work in your assignments, I don't know what you're doing. Are you doing your job? Are you eating breakfast? Perhaps you're watching TV. You have to prove that you're working for the class period. Otherwise, I'm going to assume you've done nothing. So some of you are probably doing your work, and I believe you are when you say you're doing it, but perhaps you're submitting it in the wrong place, or you just simply are forgetting to do that. So today, I really want to remind you that it's your responsibility to prove that you are doing work every day. Another reason to use Google Slides. First of all, it organizes your assignments. This is going to be a portfolio of your progress and your learning. We will be doing this as soon as you come back into the classroom as well. So we need to get into a nice routine and understand what our responsibilities are in my classroom. Another reason is it just makes finding your work so much easier if it's all in one spot. Teachers can give you feedback faster. So if I'm looking at it during the class or the next day, I can say, hey, let's look at this again and talk to you one-on-one. So it makes assessing your work easier and quicker. Also, when it's time to grade your work and enter your daily grades, it's been a nightmare for me the last week trying to find your art. I know some of you email it, which I admit I've said go ahead, I've been lenient, but I get hundreds of emails every day. So it just has to be a more efficient way, and I think that Google Slides will do that. So how do you hand in your work each day at the end of every hour? You're going to go to your assignment slides that are in whatever unit you're working on. So if you're in 8th grade abstract assignments, you just go to the page that I'm telling you to put your art on. So it might just say, go to page 13, and in the first square, put today's date, and then insert a picture that proves what you did that day. Then at the next day, when I look at your work at the end of the hour, I'll know that there was progress made. In order to insert a picture, I personally use a phone because you can take a nicer picture and you can take a picture from above or directly on, like on the fridge or against the wall. If you're taking it from your phone, it's quite easy. Take a picture, at least with my iPhone. I can just upload the picture to my email. So on the bottom of my screen, there's a little arrow that goes up. I can send it right to my email, open my email, download the pictures. And then once you're in Google Slides, you go to the menu bar and it says insert image. You find your download and easy peasy, it's right there. If you have an Android, I believe it's similar. I really don't want you taking pictures with your computer from here on out, but if that's the only camera you have, obviously you'll have to hold the picture in front of your camera, and then you probably already know that your picture it'll pop up as the latest image you have on your computer. So once your pictures are in Google Slides, I need you to edit them. This is an art class, and I really want you to learn what good presentation is. So once you take a picture and you insert it in Google Slides, you want to crop out all the unnecessary background. That's empty space, negative space. I don't want to see it. I want to focus on your art only. So in the menu bar, you'll see two corners that overlap, making a square. Click on that. Once you have to have your picture selected first. Once you see the anchor points, go to the crop tool, and then your anchor points are going to turn into black lines. stretch or just zoom in onto the picture itself, and then you just click off of it or enter, and it should be cropped. Then I want you to fill that box as big as you can without distorting the picture. So in order to make your pictures big without distorting it, put your cursor on one of the anchor points in the corners. And if you click the shift key as you do that and click and drag, your picture will not get distorted and you can make it as big as possible. It may not fill the box, but at least it's big. The reason I want them big is that it really does help me see your details better. And I can give you better feedback on it. Plus, it just looks better. It's a good presentation. Saving your work. All you have to do is just put your picture in Google Slides, and that's it. Don't do anything else. Nothing else. It's a living document. Don't turn it in from Google Slides or Google Classroom. I know that when I post assignments, there's an option for you to turn in. Don't do it. Again, Google Classroom is just the way that I post my assignments, give you a goal for the day, give you information to read or some worksheets and so forth. Do not turn in. That's what's happening. And then some of you, when I say put your slides in or your picture in the next day, you don't have edit rights. You've already submitted it. So please just post your picture in the slides, and that's all you have to do. I can go in anytime I want and see everyone's work. But as of right now, handful of people do it, handful of people like just turn in. Some students are asking to email it to me. So you can see why it's a frustrating task for me to try to keep track of your work. Again, Google Classroom is just the way for me to communicate with you. Slides is where you put all your work, and then I can grade it. So here's the thing. I don't want to be mean. I just want to be point blank, okay? If you don't turn in your work, I don't know you're working, okay? So every day that you don't turn in your pictures, you're going to get an automatic 0. Daily work makes up 20% of your grade. So a few days if you don't turn in your work, it's not the end of the world. But if you keep doing that, some students have not turned in anything this year, and we're already toward the end of the 3rd week, it will hurt your grade. So if you don't insert your pictures of your projects, and this is pictures for your projects. So like, for example, 8th graders just finished their abstract portrait unit, but half of them did not submit pictures. So if you don't insert pictures of your work in slides, I'm not going to grade it. You can get graded for it eventually, but in Skyward, it's going to read as a 0. Okay, so I'm just giving you a heads up. Daily work, if you don't turn it in, that's a 0. Just straight up forward a 0. If you turn in late work, I'll still grade it, but until you turn it in, it'll read as a 0. Be accountable for your learning. Prove you're doing a good job. If you're doing your assignments, why wouldn't you want to get credit for it? Okay? Why would you want yourself to be seen in the light of my eyes that you're not being responsible? So if you're doing your work, be proud of it. If you didn't get very far, that's okay. Every once in a while, we have a day where we work really, really hard on one detail. I'm okay with it. But I need to see your work, and then I can understand if you're getting much done or not, and then we can have a conversation. But again, if you're doing your work, for crying out loud, just be proud that you're doing it and get credit for it. That's an easy A that day. This is a life skill, okay? Being accountable and proving that you've done something is something you're going to have to do for your entire life. For example, if I, as an adult, go to work, but I don't clock in my hours, I'm not going to get paid. I probably have worked, but I won't get the money. So why not just clock in? If adults fill out their taxes, but they don't hit submit to the IRS, they're going to be in a load of trouble from the government. So my point is that if you're doing your work, get credit for it. Insert a simple picture, and life will be all peachy for all of us. So let's start fresh. Today I'm going to give you 15 minutes, and you're going to go into all the late assignments that you haven't done, okay? There'll be no penalty. I'll update the grades. This afternoon is going to be a big grading day for me. And then we're going to be squared away. If you don't submit something, I'm assuming you didn't do anything. Then don't forget at today's end of class, whatever your activity is, you got to turn in a picture for today. If you neglect to turn in the end of the hour picture, that will be entered as a 0. So for the first 15 minutes, this is your free time to get caught up, and then you can move on to today's activity that's been assigned. All right, I will actually demonstrate where to find things on Google Slides in a moment. All right, thank you.